Hi, Sarah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was just making sure. I'm going to go ahead and mute so I don't bother, but I was just making sure. Thank you.
Welcome, 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 and thank you for joining Tokyo's session. So the market's just about to open. We've got 5 minutes. Let's just see. Let's refresh that. Just jumped up right to the top of the Bollinger Bands on USD JPY. I've got this paying out at 71% on the broker. There's no red news, no red flag news. That's always the first thing that we check. And then the currency strength meter. So US dollar, I do regularly refresh this like every time, because look, the pairs just jump all the time. So I'm always refreshing this. So the Australian dollar's just got stronger. It was 1 bar a few minutes ago. So US dollar, a great deal stronger than the Japanese yen, which is the weakest currency. I'm not going to look at Euro USD. They are very similar. And the payouts were lower. Otherwise, I've got them all around about, I've got 69% payout Euro JPY, which is the only one worth looking at on pocket option. The other payouts are all too low. AUD USD at 67 and GBP JPY at 72%. So it's going to be tonight, we're going to look, or today, depending on where you are in the world, we're going to look at USD JPY for calls. And we're going to look at Euro JPY for calls. And Australian dollar, US dollar, possibly for puts, and GBP JPY for calls. Let's just have a look at what it looks like on TradingView. So I did do some markups here. Purple and green are the hourly. I didn't bother marking up the daily. And the 15-minute one is the red and the blue, upper and lower level for resistance. On the red, support at on the 15-minute at, you follow it across here, 883, 15-minute. I'm just going to write that down because you can see where the green bar, which is a sell candle, closed. The blue bar, which is a buy candle, opened on the last 15-minute. So it's using that level, 883, as support. And look left to see what's going to happen right. And you can see that it used it a lot as resistance. And as we know, floors become ceilings and vice versa. So these ceilings, where price rejected, is now becoming a floor. And on HourGlass, we could see the strength of the US dollar was 49 to the Japanese yen. It's something like 17. Now, note down here, though, it says hidden bear on the 15-minute. So, and our hourly range with the purple lines and the green. So it's above the previous hourly line. So I'll just look at the 5-minute, just coming up to the hour. Now it's rejected off that level 929, rejecting off that level on the 5-minute. And let's see what HourGlass tells us. This has been a bit glitchy while they roll it out, the 3.0 version, the new version. So we have got that 63 to 13 is called a put at 9:20, and it's just going to come up to the hour. So I don't really want to take puts. So you can see it's in the overbought area above the red line and above on the RSI. These are momentum indicators. So we want those crossing down. Now, it doesn't mean to say if you don't want to, you can take them. You can take them on demo. If you've got an IQ Cent account, you could take 1 cent, $1 trades, because it's like the mechanics of learning anything. The more you press the button and program your brain, because we are time-based traders, so we do need to have the confidence, build the confidence to press the button and think I've done the correct analysis. I've locked myself in. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and you know, get that sort of bearing of it's like going onto the sports field. You know, get that bearing of what kind of match you're playing and the context, the lay of the land. So it's right up in the Bollinger Bands here. It's given us another call at 917. It is right up there. Where's our moving average? Must be right down here then, our 200 EMA. I can't even see it. Oh, it's down there. That pale blue line is the 200 moving average. Just wicking off that level. So there's that put at market open. So we want a retrace back to that red line at 883, thereabouts. Now it opened up there at 903. So if we're going to take calls and prices heading on up, let's have a look and see if it's hit. You see that whole number, 111000, hugely important in Forex trading because prices move in 1,000 pip ranges. So if it's like a magnet wants to head on up to here, then it will do so, because this is for all the bankers, the market makers, the whales, the big people that make and manipulate these markets, that buy to sell and sell to buy. They do it at these round numbers, and that's a massively significant number. So I haven't had time to look back and see when it previously hit that number. So let's have a look on the hourly. And it was at that, this is a day session. So this was the previous Tokyo session in green, London in yellow, blue in New York session. So Tokyo, it went right up to 1117. But you can see it used that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all across from New York, about 13 hours worth of trading, and the whole of, virtually the whole of Tokyo, it was at that whole number level. So it did a big drop the day before that. It cleared out all the money back up to that level. It's come right back down, respected this level exactly, used that same level at 688, that zone thereabouts, 688, and now it's kind of heading up, but it doesn't really need to come back up here because it's taken all that money out back there. So if I just come out to the 4 hourly, but I'm reluctant to take puts on this. There's a very big, that must be a news candle there. But you can see it's strongly in an upward trend with these waves, and has been for quite a long time. So on the 4 hourly, and let me look at the daily, and look at that. It's just That was back on the 31st of March. So it's completed a great big situation there. And it still looks strong, doesn't it? Still looks strong. 968 back there. Where's the dollar been before on the weekly? Even higher, but that was back in February. So it's just at this level here, but it doesn't really like it up there. So it could well have finished its area around about here and be turning, but we don't know that. We're right down at this level. But at the moment, I go by what I'm seeing, what I'm told, and what I'm told is that the dollar is a great deal stronger than the Japanese yen, and I don't want to be taking puts at this stage, so I can only go by the strategy I choose to follow. So I want a pullback. Let's have a look where we are. We're 4 minutes past. Now this will, or it should do, give us puts because it's bouncing off the Bollinger Bands, and we can see it cross down a little bit on the open of the market, but it hasn't, you know, it's not pushed down a great deal. Let's see what this 5 minute one tells us. It's given us a put at 925. It's 51 to 14 now. So it's the dollar weakening a bit. And as you'd expect, off an algorithm, it's going to give you a put because it's right up at the elastic bands, the Bollinger Bands. So it gave us a put. I don't want to take puts. I want to see it come down. So maybe we'll look at this for the 30 minutes. You can set alarms. I'm not going to set an alarm, but I want to see it pull down. If it is still in its upward trend, we want a nice pullback for a comfortable call, and patience pays, as we know. So I don't really want to be taking puts anyway, and I don't want to take calls while it's still right up in this area. And we know about the market timing. That could be 15 minutes or it could be 30 minutes. So I'm going to leave that one for a moment. That's what I'm thinking in my head on USG JPY. So I'm going to look at, we'll have a brief look through here. Let's have a look through our, so it did wick off that level. Let's just finish by looking at the 1 minute. So we've got a level there at 916. I'm just going to write that down. But these are much smaller moves. They're very fragile. You know, you've got 5 of these in one 5 minute candle. You've got 60 of these in one 1 hourly candle. So this new one's given us a call. Oh, they're quite big candles, aren't they, as well? 928. It opened at. Yeah, it's a bit, so it's going up because price wants to push on up. You see, it could want to push back up to that level. I don't know. It's been up there a few more times. It looks to me like it's cleared the money out, but I'm going to mark that level with an orange line, which reminds me it's a quarter theory point, and padlock that on. Hopefully it doesn't disappear on us. That's just a reminder for me. Can you see here what we looked at on the other charts? How it's used that level so much as a ceiling. So let's see what happens. But it's a bit of a one where I don't want to do anything with it at the moment. So I'm going to look through my trading view. Look, there. Let's put it back on the 5 minute. What's that level on the 5 minute? 951 it got up to there. So it's really pushed out of all these lines at the moment. 920, 929, 920 open, 929 open. Look at your wicks because you can see there's our market open. So it didn't push down much. Your probes pushed up. Not quite enough volume in it, but it opened again where the previous one in effect closed. So the volume, the orders are being placed. The market is still buying up. Here is an auto support level, quite strong because it's highlighted green, which is stronger than these green and blue in this color, you know, these smaller ones. So that's a stronger level of resistance, and it's wicked off it at that 951 level. So I want to see a pullback to 929, 930, 930, 921, 921, 930, something like that, as far back as we can get it really to a previous line of support and resistance, as will be drawn on HourGlass. It will draw us the little lines, the green for support and the red for resistance. So it's shown us here, it's drawn us a new line of support. And if you follow it to the right, it's drawn us a line at 906. 906. So that's an important one for us. So we want to see it come back to at least 906. And if you look left, that's your history to see what's going to happen right, how we're going to predict, but without forcing the market. Price, remember, will do what price wants to do, but if we just follow that same line, we can see it did form a line, a ceiling, a line of resistance, and back through here. So I'm going to look through the others. 10 past, so let's see if there's something at the 15-minute mark. So that's where we are with USD JPY on the 5-minute. These are the pairs I trade. I don't trade any other pairs. So AUD USD, I've got that for puts at 67% payout. So market open, strong push up. It does say hidden bull there, but it's wicking off this level at 166. 166. And if we go back to our currency strength meter, just to double check on here. Now the Japanese yen has got a great deal stronger. So that means our US dollar could be starting to weaken. When I said to you, it's already hit that whole number before. So we could be witnessing a sort of a turn in the market. Sure, here's USD JPY on the 15-minute. So it's completed this buy scan up to the C point, and it's shooting on up above it. So it's normally when scans complete like that, they mean they're going to start at some point a new sell scan, because it's always waves in the market across any of these time frames. So that's where it is at the moment. It's completed that scan very successfully and is now above the C point. Yeah, so let me just check that again. So they're all pretty strong now. They've all changed quite a lot. So this means really we'll look at our currency strength meter on our brokers and on HourGlass in particular, but they're really all very similar. But the Japanese yen now is really starting to engulf them. So that means we should, what I wrote down before the open of the session that I was going to do, I've got to change my mind a bit, because I should be selling AUD JPY, which I haven't got written down at all, and that means that's because the payouts are low, so I'm going to strike that off thinking about that. USD JPY, I should start to think about puts, not calls, but I was very strongly in favour of calls, if you remember, but this you can see what's happened now. And the same with the GBP and the euro. So really they're all puts against the Japanese yen, with the Australian dollar and US dollar are now equal, even Stevens. And that's about it in terms of what I want to be trading. I haven't got the euro USD because of payouts. So I haven't even written that down to look at tonight. So I'm just going to make a note to myself to say puts against the yen, and see what starts to happen from that point of view. So I just have a quick look through trading view on the 5-minute. There is our AUD JPY right at the top, but I don't want that one. I haven't got that one on the payouts. AUD USD, I don't want to look at that because it's broadly similar. Means we can take calls and puts. Or USD, let's look on the 15-minute. And you can see why, because you've got parallel, you've got what we call ranging. So that's calls and puts. Now, when we get to that situation, we can see we've got the 200 EMA there. It's between quarter points. It's in a range between 883 and 797. So when you take trades, we don't want a lot of volatility, remember, so we don't mind ranging, but consolidation, ranging, but it means you've got to click the button, be very precise on your entries. You can't afford, if it gave you a call at 883 and you didn't press the button until 873, forget it, you know, because you've got to get in on these levels fairly precisely once it starts to get into a narrower band. Otherwise it's too stressful, you know, you may as well not take the trade, in my opinion, even though you only need one little flick on a 1 second tick chart on the broker. Next one is Euro JPY. Now this is interesting because it's taken that quarter point level 132.250, used it very heavily as support, and now it's moved up. So this again seems to be ranging between 359 and 250 level, but there's some levels in between, 271. So I could have a look at that. Euro USD, I'm not going to trade. That's stuck like that. We come back to the 5-minute, always your default position when you're looking at this. And remember, we're going to look at the pricing on TradingView and the broker. So very little trading going on here. And I didn't like the payouts, and this is why. There's just nothing happening. It'll start to move later. And GJ, I'm on the 15-minute time candle now. GJ, we're below that moving average quite nicely. On the 1 minute, it started to move up. So again, we've got ranging going on here. And USD JPY. Oh, that's just coming off that level, isn't it? Let's have a look. USD JPY has given us a put at 955. Now you see how it's jumped again, 56 to 1, 56 to 1. So it's still stuck right up there. 56 to 1, but that's not what this chart's telling me. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry about that. We're back to the Japanese yen. It's the weakest. It's because of those big candles, isn't it? I think that's why. So this takes us back to calls, not puts. But I still want to see a bit of a pullback. I don't know if we're going to get it at all on that. There's our Euro USD, very wicky. No volume, which was why you saw those tiny movements. Call score of 2, but it's still moving downwards. There's the 200 moving average. It's forming lower highs. It's coming right down to the Bollinger Bands. I haven't got the payouts on that, so I don't want to trade that. Euro JPY for a put, but it's 53 to 1. A put at 356. Put at 356. So this is interesting for, sorry, that just jumped then. Oh, this looks quite nice. A put score of 4. Called at 356. Euro JPY. It's got a wick down there though. It's not really moving down. That's That's the 1 minute. Where are we on Euro JPY? 69%. Called at 356. Called at 356. 356. Oh, see, I'm just missing it. 1903. I'm going to take that down just to 5, and I'm just going to see how I get on. I'm probably in this 353 a little bit late on the timing. It's just a test trade for me to warm up. Now, I'm not actually calling trades and writing them down and saying I'm going in now, because I find I've been missing trades. So I can only talk to you about what I see, what my zones are, what I'm thinking of doing on my trade ideas. Then I press the button. But normally I would have pressed the button on this on the 15-minute, and I would have made sure I had at least 3 minutes on my timer. If it drops below 2 minutes, I reset the timer. You do that by pressing this drop down and then resetting to 3. Okay, so that's what Matty and Taylor do. If they've got less than 2 minutes in the trade, we still do non-fixed time. That's our preference. Some people do fixed time. Ken Bremo on the double blessing strategy, which I like a great deal, does fixed time. But on non-fixed time, we don't, works perfectly well. We just follow what Matty and Taylor do. But as I say, if you're 2 minutes into the candle or more, then reset it to the 3 minutes if you've got less than 2 minutes to run. So it's gone down to 347. And we are at 2040. Got just less than 1 minute in this. Let's see how we get on. And we're coming up to past. So we're going to look at the trade for the 30-minute, Evan Cabral's market timing, which is normally the only places. This should have been a 15-minute one. I was just in a bit later, finding my bearings, looking around. And let's see if this 13, so I've got about 20 seconds to go. Let's see if it holds down for us. 20. So what candle am I on? I'm just into this new candle, the 20 past candle, 28:30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 35, 36, 2, 4. Poor. That was a break even. So break evens we count as wins. But if you see what I mean about being in, you've got time-based traders. You know, I was in a bit later on this one, about a minute late, and that's why I like to get in on that, or give ourselves the full 3 minutes. So let's see where that is on here. So that was our 5-minute candle at the 15 minutes past, and then I got in a bit later. So I got in down, what we call sort of down the candle. So then I'm caught coming back up. So where I got in, because I got in late, and that's the importance of getting in, give yourselves the full 3 minutes, because we're tucking safely into a 5-minute candle. It's a fairly solid candle. It was a flat top open. There's no wick on it. It was a good sell candle. So if I'd been in nearer the top where it was called, that actually opened at 362 and it called it at 353 and it closed at 344, but there's that 353 level. So and here we are, it's just wicking off that now. So if I got the break even luckily, but if I'd been in earlier or later, because it's wicking off that level, I would have been okay. So that's a really good illustration on time-based trading. And here it is back down at the 350 and dropping. So that's a test trade. We're going to see what we can look at for the half hour. I'm going to carry on just having a little look through these. So Euro USD, as I said, I don't want to trade. GBP, JPY, GJ. I wanted to see where it was in relation to the 200 moving average, and then USD, JPY. Still up at this level, you'll notice, but it's coming down. We've got that retrace. So you remember what we said at the beginning of the session? You can set alarms to remind yourself at a certain level. So say you wanted to, say you wanted to set an alarm for 912, so that if it retraced to that level, then you could say you'd come in for a call. Well, set it at about, I don't know, instead of setting it at 912, if you set it at 922 up here, then you'll give yourself time to think about what you're doing, get yourself set up before getting in for the call. So you can use alarms on the right hand side. It depends what version of Trading View you've got. So let's check our currency strength meter, refresh it to check where the balance is. So we've got US dollar still stronger than the Japanese yen. We were lucky on that Euro JPY because that was a pullback. You see the Euro is still a lot stronger. So again, on the half hour, I would expect that to turn for a call. So we'll look at both of those, but we'll focus on USD JPY. We'll come back to, let me just check Euro JPY as well. So there's Euro JPY. So, you know, we want that sort of pullback, again, similar sort of move up to the 365. So I'm going to come on, but I'm going to look at USD JPY. Come over to check the payouts. Check the payout. 71%. So there we are. It's down at 947 on our broker. On this one, it's at 70. Not bad. Not much, only 1 point. Look at it on here. USD JPY 945, and on HourGlass, let's come back onto that. So the dollar is a call, so it's going to turn. You see how the dollar is heavily oversold? This is the basket of currencies, the measurement of the strength of the dollar. So on the next candle for the 30 minutes, we'd want that to be another call. See, it's still dropping down, but it is heavily oversold, heavily oversold. Got the 200 moving average there. The Bollinger Bands have expanded, but our 200 moving average is moving up. So it's moving within the Bollinger Bands, which implies to me that they will start to narrow again. So we've got 46 to 14. The Japanese yen on this currency strength meter strengthened, dollars weakened a bit, but it's still stronger in the ascendancy. It's just along our bottom. We want 4 greens for a call. See how it's moved down since we started talking about it half an hour ago. It's at, just check you're on the right currency. I always check. Sometimes I've nothing to do with the system. I found I've been talking about something and I'm actually on a different currency or on the DXY. So it's down at USD JPY coming up for the half hour is down at 798. That can't be right. It's stuck. Yeah, it needs a refreshing. That's better. What's it doing now? Just double click on the box if you get a glitch. See it at all now. Turn to the dollar. driving. $41 to 9. There we are. 948. That's in the oversold area. 942. 28 minutes past. Still right up at that level, isn't it? Sorry, it has come down to the lower Bollinger Band. It's on the reds. Still on the reds. So it's not given us a lot of a pullback. 4, 6, 945. 945. Trading view 944. Oh, look at that plummet. Have a look at our 933. What is the dollar doing? 29 minutes past. HourGlass is 4 seconds to go. Let's just see what happens here. It's given us a put. No, it hasn't quite reached as far down as I would have liked. It's giving us a put because of the Bollinger Bands, but it's 43 to 6. I'm on the half hour. It's given us a put at 945. 25. It's kind of resisting this level, isn't it now? So it could carry on like this for the hour and then turn. So I don't think I want to take that for a call. I'm going to look at, yeah, it is moving up. It just moved up then, didn't it? It's at 963, so it did actually move. It did move off. There's your 29. Oh, it moved slightly late. There. Well, I mean, sometimes this happens, doesn't it? About 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes before the half hour after, or even on the 40 on any pair. It's not precise science. So let me look at, so that would have been okay for a call, but HourGlass said put because it's right up at the top of those bands. So 367, euro 59 to the JPY to the yen at 6. This is overbought and above the red. Put score of 4 off the Bollinger Bands and a line of resistance. On euro JPY, called at 367, but 2 minutes ago. So again, I may have missed this one. And we haven't got the currency strength in our favor. I do see it says hidden there, down there. There it is, just stuck at the top there. 377, 377, 386. Let's put it back up. It's just wicked off that 388 area. But as I say, haven't got currency strength in our favor. I'm always a bit reluctant to take these trades which are so much against the currency strength, personally, because I just, if they don't work out, it really annoys you, you know. You think, why did I do that? Because they always say the trend is your friend. So, you know, quite rightly, this could be a pullback, and the trade, you know, we've got it crossing down below the red, sticking a little bit, but, you know, if you get that cross down, you know, it is a valid trade. It's got a put score of 4 with a red arrow. It's off the Bollinger Bands. It's off a line of resistance at 377 there, thereabouts. There's a red line there. There's your 366. So it's called at this level of resistance. So it's a perfectly valid trade. It's just stuck a bit. So I'll tell you what we can do. Oh, look at that. On Euro US, on USD JPY 368. So what I'll do is just take that down to 5 and do a put. This is on my other account. It's only a payout 50%. This is a new smaller account. I really like the screen on it. It's a lovely app on your phone. So I don't count this one usually in my results. I'm not going to count this in my results. I just want to see, because this is an example of taking a trade against the currency strength meter, which means you're taking a pullback and that they are more risky than, here we are, it's gone right up 372. I've got about a couple of, got 2 minutes 30 left in the trade. Let's have a look here. And let's have a look on HourGlass. So you can see it's still stuck at that level, 369. What's it saying on the broker over here? Three seven three. There's our 369 level. And we are at coming up to the 35, the new candle, coming up to the new 5-minute candle. So 370 on this broker. That was the half-hour candle, which was a doji candle. It has, I can't see if it's opening as a, let's have a look on, it looks like it's, yeah, it's can't, it wants, it's kind of, yeah, it's turning from blue to green. 371, so I may not have got that one. Not got long to go in that. It's up at 372. And then on the Harmonic scanner, oh, not Harmonic scanner, on HourGlass, the new candle on the 35 is a call score of 2. So euro to 53, Japanese yen to 16. So that's what happens when you take some of these pullbacks. You know, if price wants to push on up for the hour, it will do so. It's at 370, 371. Just at that level there. Come down to the 1 minute, see what it's doing on the 1 minute. It's just sticking around that level, isn't it? I can see a line of resistance there at 377. 370. This line is the 200 moving average. I'm on a 3-minute view. 369. 367. So you see how it was sticking and now it's dropping. But again, I think this is a great lesson. And if you take a trade against the trend, you're taking a pullback. You know, you've got to understand what you're getting into when you go against the currency strength meter. So we did win that one. We did win that one. So actually tonight's lesson's really been about pullbacks, hasn't it? So let's see if we can get something on the 45. So again, I will start off when I'm thinking about my next trade. So if you remember our first one, it was I missed the hourly because it's the open of the market. So 15 minutes past, I don't always take a trade, and we've taken one at 30, just after the half hour. So let's have a look at one more trade for the 45. So break evens we count as wins. So I'm going to put that down as 2 wins, 0 losses so far. And the headline will be about trading pullbacks. So we've got Euro, GBP, so they're all still very much stronger than the Japanese yen. So really we should only think about calls. Let's come over to our trading view. We've got a pullback. So if we look at, there's the half hour. Now normally, not normally, mostly, usually, what happens is from the half hour to the hour, price will on any pair will come down and then make a turn on the hour. But it can also do it on the 45. In terms of payouts, let's just sort of check where we are on this. So USD JPY is at 71. I prefer USD JPY to Euro JPY to trade. I find Euro JPY a little bit frisky. GBP JPY is 72. And remember, I only ever trade 5 pairs. I don't move off them these days. 64% Euro USD, which is why I'm not trading it. 69% Euro JPY. Normally when we win a trade, we put the profit from that trade on our next trade. Which is how we compound. Or USD 67 or JPY 64. So they're all pretty much similar. 945 on that broker and 70%. All these are too low to trade anyway. The only one worth trading on here is USD JPY. 945, it's just gone up there. So let's see where we are on HourGlass. Now we've got our bearings. 946. So I've got US dollar 50 on the currency strength meter, Japanese yen 20. I've got 5 minutes to go till the 45-minute candle. Let's see if we can sort this out. The dollar says put at the moment, so obviously we want the dollar to say call. We need the dollar to be strengthening. So it's coming back to sort of that midline. That's what we want. We want that pullback and then we want the call. So that was at, put it on the correct time zone. The 2 o'clock market open was there, 2:15. 30-minute doesn't always change precisely, and now the 45. I've got 4 minutes to go. So that's what we were looking at from when we started the session, if you remember. It was right up in the Bollinger Bands, but now can you see how it's kind of breaking out of the Bollinger Bands? When you get the wicks coming through the Bollinger Bands, it means price wants to break out, but it had that level up there at 960, and it has rejected off that. But we are still with the currency strength for calls. It gave us a call at 940, it's at 9451. It is not quite down far enough though. It's reflecting how high up it is in the Bollinger Bands. We're not going to get it back to the best strategic move is to get 4 greens. So right down at the bottom, 4 greens, 1 green, it's crossed above, 2 greens, it's crossed above, the B for the buy, 3, currency strength in our favor, 4, because this score is adding up any of these 7 or 8. The above the green moving average, you see the moving average changes from red to green, that'd be 5. Off a line of support, 6, and then Bollinger Band 7, and the call and the arrow 8. So it adds up like that. So there's our 939 level of support. I've got 2 minutes to go to see if how far it will pull back for us. It is using that twice. It's going up strongly. Thing is, when it moves up like that, you know, what you want to be seeing is a pullback, because it could just carry on up for the hour. Let's put it back on that. USD JPY, I want to always check you've got your setups correct. Put it back on the 5 minutes. Let's see where we are with it. there's that 970 rejection, the bottom level at 943, 943. We had that candle opened at 956 and closed there. That previous blue one was 956, 956. The 15-minute previous close at 950, open 958, 958, 958. So 958 for a close and 958 for an open on the previous 15 minutes, 958. So can we get it back to 958 for our line of support for a call? $957. We've got 40 seconds to go. 959 on that broker. 959 on this broker. 954. 957. $950. So it's dropped right down below now. Well, let's see what this says. It's a put at 949. So I don't want to take that because that big long wick back. So what I was thinking was it's going to carry on dropping for the hour and then the call will be there on the hour, unless the Japanese yen carries on strengthening, in which case we start to see a turn and that it's finished its bull run up. So abort mission for me on that one, even if it goes, because I didn't like that long wick off. It did give us a put. It's not such a strong move, is it? It wasn't right down. It wasn't right down in the greens. Ideally, we like 4 greens for the call. These ones are more risky in the middle. It hasn't given us a number anyway on that one. So let's see if there is something else. I'll look at Euro JPY, but we are 1 minute into this candle. That is similar, it's stuck a bit. Euro JPY 63 to 23. That again has given us a put with a call score of 3. We wanted above the red line, so we want 4 reds really. It's not quite up high enough, is it? You know, want it pushing up for the hour. This will give us something on the hour for a put, but we will be going against the currency strength meter 61 to 19. Let me run through briefly our other pairs on here. There's GJ. GJ I didn't have down. Yes, I did. 50 to 19. I had a payout of 72 on one of the brokers. Now, the problem with this as a setup is you've got your 200 moving average slicing at the top here. It's given us a call. That is its ceiling. What you want to think to yourself is 10 minutes time on the hour. If it respects these areas, that line of resistance, the Bollinger Band, the 200 moving average, which is moving down slightly, you should see the Japanese yen strengthening and the GBP weakening, and you take that for a put, a nice put on that, on the hour. Look on the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, it is above the moving average. So I can't always say I'm correct, clearly. Here it is respecting that moving average, what we've been discussing on HourGlass. And normally what I do then at this point is I don't usually set the alarms myself, because there's our hourly line. So I want to see it no more than, I want to put at 443 or thereabouts. But if it's obviously going to carry on up to the quarter point, I can't do anything about that, nor can any algorithm. And then I check back to see where it was at that level before. Looking on that, there we are. So it will have to I don't know whether it wants to think about that because it's bought all the way up. Oh gosh, there's a lot going on here. I don't trade GJ myself too much, to be honest. It's sold right down. It has not cleared out this imbalance. Therefore, it probably does want to carry on up to here. I don't know when it was at that level before, but that's so. Oh, okay. It's completed it to there. It was from that one. I think that's what it's done. So it could finish here and then carry on down. Don't know. But I don't trade GJ too much, but that's what I would be looking at. I'm not adverse to it. It's got hidden bull there on the 5 minutes, so that says it wants to carry on up at the moment, so you should pay attention. That means overall directional trend is up, so it's going up, not just in the short term, but you know, its overall directional trend is up, so it's breaking that moving average. USD JPY, where are we with that? Can't seem to get through that level, can it? So again, on the hour, have we got, there we are, have we got a trade here off the, but again, we won't have the currency strength in our favor. If it's still strong, that's 970, it's still stuck at that level. Euro JPY is quite nicely positioned there. Again, I put my line on, think about my next trade, but also whether I'm trading on my own or in one of these live sessions, if I've been on for around about an hour, I stop trading because you start to get a little bit tired and there's no point, and that's when you start to lose focus and start losing, and it doesn't become so much fun. So an hour really is really all I do, and then I'll come back. I've got the set sessions that I join in or that I enjoy trading for the best movement in the market. That's all JPY, which I didn't have down because the payouts were no good. AUD USD is still moving up. And that's about it really. So our next move is Euro JPY for a possible put on the hour. GJ, was it going to hold? You see how it's pushed up, but it is wicking off that level up here now. On the 1 minute. Just looking to see if there's a Fibonacci I can draw, but there isn't on any of them. So that's about it. Just look down here a little bit more at AUD USD 59 to 49. Oh, quite big candles. So a put. So we want it to drop back down perfectly a bit more for to take a call. Not sure we're going to get that, but that's what we want it to do, to push down for the hour, then take a call off that sort of midline. If it isn't going to come right back down, ideally we'd like it right back down for a call. Strategically, 59 to 9 on all JPY, but I can't trade that. The payout isn't there on the brokers. And those are the only pairs I look at. I never ever look at any of the others, never. So 49 to 9, that's just gone a bit weird. Just double click on the box if it does that. So there was actually a nice move up there. That was that 35. So I think that's about it for me. I'm not going to stay on for the hour. We've got 2 wins, 0 losses. I hope you found that instructional about trading pullbacks. They're a little bit more stressful. You are going against the trend. The trend is your friend. I tend to try and stay with the currency strength meter. Patience pays. I'm quite happy to sit and do 1 or 2 trades an hour. Sometimes I sit for a session with no trades. I find if I desperate to trade and I take a trade and force a trade, I lose it. So I've learnt my lesson to take it on demo, to scratch that itch, as they say, and that way you keep your account and your real money safe.
Hey, Sarah.
Hiya.
Let me ask you one quick question before you go.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. I'm quite happy to stay on for one of these. I just didn't want to push it, you know, if it wasn't going to move. But USD JPY looks like it's moving down. Yeah, carry on, Joey.
First of all, thank you for doing this. Second, I am totally lost, and I'm doing everything I can, you know, to learn it. What kind of helpful hints can you give me? Can I read something, or can I? I'm learning a little bit as I go along, like the bands and all that kind of stuff, and it's little by little. But is there anything I could do to, you know, get me over the hump, and so I can start kind of following along?
Yes, the go live Josh Lee ones.
Okay.
Are the one, and the recordings are brilliant. So if you come to your im.center,
right,
and go to the go live on the left-hand menu.
Okay.
This to me is the single most valuable thing in the whole academy, these educators. And if we come down to pick a channel, HFX, which is the one we trade.
Right.
And then this one, which is Dr. Josh Lee and Brandon Boyd.
Okay.
They are on every day, Monday to Thursday.
Right.
Sorry, Monday to Friday at 1 p.m. EST, but you can watch the recordings. So what we do is we come onto that channel, which is channel 72. And then come, if you're not watching the lives, come to the favorite sessions.
Okay.
And in the favorite sessions, these are the ones that Josh Lee, I know it looks like a lot, you don't have to look at them all, but if you see something in here with a headline, you know, he's an ex-medical doctor, he's so clear, he's such a wonderful man, he's such a clear instructor. He'll, you know, the basic principles, if you can't get on live every day from watching 1 or 2 of these recordings. So I'm going right down to the bottom because this is his earliest one. This is from 2020. But here, day 1, HFX, intro, what price action is, and market structure analysis. So there's his introduction, really sort of like ground level, back to basics. And then, you know, you've got things like obviously how to use TradingView. But I probably, if I come up to the most recent ones then, on the favorites, I would say, you see, you could start, you see Cashtrap 3, which is the latest one they're rolling out. Continuation versus reversal moves, because the one we've been looking at, USD JPY, is a continuation move. It's up in the Bollinger Bands, but it was still pushing up, wasn't it? That's a continuation move.
Okay.
A reversal move is where we were talking about one of the other pairs, probably Euro JPY, where I said I think it's topped out in the market and it may be turning on the hour. That would be called a reversal move.
Okay.
Primary versus secondary or retracement legs is how the market moves in waves, forming those steps up or steps down. And then the confirmation candles. Now that's very powerful. I don't usually mention those on my sessions, but he takes you through trades where if you have like 3 candles that go up and you get what he calls the confirmation candle, you can clearly see it. Then you know the next one you can go in for the put. It's fabulous. So so these, if you watched a couple of these most recent ones, or I don't know, because I know you work different, you know, schedules, your times for work are very different. But if you can get on any of his 1 p.m. EST actual lives, then you will learn everything you need to know from Josh Lee.
So in your best opinion, the best way for me to learn is pretty much right now is just to follow this guy and watch his as much of his videos as I possibly can.
Yes, and if you can get on Tokyo session with me or Les and ask us questions,
Right.
and why did that happen, or put something in the chat, because I can see
Okay.
what's happening in the chat. Then that's what these live sessions are for, because with
Okay.
these people, they get so many people on their sessions, they can't answer the chat. The chat's just scrolling through, which is why they just say, oh, put a 777 in the chat if you're pleased to be here, because they've got too many people on. But Les and I, that's why we do the sessions, so that we can answer questions, which you can put either in the chat or say can ask a question. Les in particular is very, very technical. He's really good at explaining bankers' strategy and buying to sell, and what these big arcs, the big shapes mean. But we're time-based traders right down in the scalping, so we don't always need to sort of like be aware of that. But if you can understand why that quarter point is so important, or what lines of support and resistance are, why does price break through or reject or consolidate, what does that mean in terms of us trading? It really gives you the confidence to be able to press the button on the trade.
Right. Well, I know that I'm going to be off work for like the next 9 weeks. And so I'm going to stay with y'all through all that time as much as I can. And then I'm going to, starting in the morning tonight and in the morning, I'm going to watch this Josh Lee watch his things and just really indulge myself.
He really is fantastic, and he's so clear and simple. And I think that comes from the medical training. Very clear in his he's really, really good, really good at helping people grasp what this is all about and apply it to win the trade. He actually continually says, when you see this, then you can take that trade. When you see this happen, you can take the trade. Very good like that.
Hey, thank you so very much, and you have a great night. What's left with you, and I'll be seeing a lot more of you real soon. Okay.
Well, thanks very much for joining. I really appreciate your time, because time's our most important and valuable asset. So I appreciate you sharing